Hey, guys and gals, my name is Splattercat, and right now you must be very confused about what Shadowrun Returns is doing back on your screen, but I did promise you guys we were going to do some UGCs, that's user-generated content, and so I've got one lined up right now from a user called Daily, who has actually remade an older campaign called From the Shadows Run. You can find his Twitch TV account down below. Right now he's got the first 2 acts done, and he tells me that that's going to be about like 2 to 4 hours of gameplay, so we might be able to eke out 4 to 5 episodes here. And so let's go to new game, and it's right there. Let's do From the Shadows Run. Now this is for new characters. In this playthrough, I'm not going to focus so much on talking about concepts like I did with the Dead Man's Switch, because I feel like you guys have probably watched my first season and have now moved on to the UGC. And so that means we're going to be kind of taking this a little bit quicker. At the same time, I will explain things as they need to be explained. But for the time being, From the Shadows Run is a campaign for brand new characters. And where that puts us is that we're going to have to make a new guy. So let's launch the campaign. And once we make that new character, we're going to jump on in and see how this whole thing's going to go. I think this time we're going to go with a female character. We went with a male character last time. We also went with a human. I think that this time we'll go with, I don't know. Let's go with a female orc, possibly, and then we'll make her a street samurai. That might work out. Might be kind of an interesting character to play around with. Let's find ourselves a portrait here, one that'll work out. Ooh, that one's got like a cyber face. I dig that. Like a half-skull metal face. Let's see here. Well, she appears to be the least goblinized. Maybe we'll come back to her. Well, I don't really know which portrait I like. I suppose we'll go with her. She's fine. That'll work. Although the portrait doesn't really look like the character that we'll be playing, but it'll be okay. I promise. Let's go ahead and get a skin color set in. I don't really know what color orc I want to be. We could do like a... Well, let's make it match the portrait. So I think she's kind of fair-skinned, so I guess we can put it like right there maybe. As for a hairstyle, let's see if we can get this to line up. Got a killer mohawk right there. Got a little bit of like a short butch cut type thing going on. That might work out. That looks kind of similar. And then we can't do a beard, obviously. We can't do horns or anything like that. So let's continue to our stats distribution. It's going to give us 5 to play with. We're already at 5 body, which is pretty good. Our bod is pretty fantastic right now. We've got a couple points in ranged combat. I would assume that they've probably given us a couple... Ooh, they didn't actually. Sometimes they give you a couple points in close combat, but it doesn't look like we've got anything of the sorts. Now, I do want to make my character a little bit well-rounded if they're going to be a samurai. It might be worthwhile to have a couple close fighting skills, but let's pick a weapon for this playthrough. We didn't have a weapon picked, and I haven't really thought about it. I think maybe I'll go with pistols. Last time we went with rifles, I believe. We made it pretty far down the chain. We made it to, I think, Deadeye, but beyond that, we couldn't get much further. Maybe this time I'm thinking SMGs or pistols. I do like SMGs. Yeah, let's go with like Uzis and stuff. That'll be kind of killer. We'll put 2 points in there. Oh, we can't. Our ranged combat isn't high enough. Well then, maybe I'll just throw an extra point in there. We'll hold on to the other 2 possibly, or maybe we'll put a point into close combat. A point into unarmed or melee weight. I don't know if we can get our hands on a knife or anything really early. I don't know anything about this campaign. I haven't done any research on it. We'll do close combat. I'm going to save the other point. Maybe I'll undo that one too. I just don't know what to do with it right now. We'll go with dodge though, because dodge is always useful. It never hurts to have a little bit of dodge. And then we will confirm on in, and let's see what this campaign has in store for us. Once again, I'm going to go with a Splattercat as our handle. That's going to work out mighty fine. It's a name that works for Shadowrun, and I think that's pretty sweet. Let's see what our briefing's going to say here. You awaken in a clean and clinical room. You don't remember how you got there, but it definitely wasn't by choice. Your head aches terribly. Someone has cleaned your short-term memory completely. A door lies ahead. Alright, so here we are. It looks like there's a cabinet over here. Subject, retrieve the data chip from its storage. We are watching. Inside the sturdy container, you see a unique data chip. It's made out of a dark metal, almost obsidian in color, covered in strange blood-red runes that your eyes can't quite focus on. It makes your stomach lurch just looking at it. We'll remove the data chip. You quickly pocket the chip, glad to have it out of sight, if not out of mind. So we got a door down here. You seem to be wearing some kind of medical muumuu. Kind of a marble archway down here, a little bit of the old statuesque. They seem to have a roach problem. Another vessel draws near. Well then, we don't even have a weapon. This could get really, really bad really quickly. Might consider coming down here and seeing what's in here. You quickly rifle through the bin of debris in hopes of finding something with which to defend yourself. I suppose we can go with... God, I don't even know which one to pick. We've got the requirements for everything. Maybe we'll go with the strength. We'll go with strength since that's what we're good at. We got a baseball bat. Alright, well that'll work out. The humans swarm over the container, frothing at the mouth and scattering the rest of its contents. Alrighty, well we got ourselves a bat, so let's hold up and see... Oh god, there's a bunch of them. This could get really rowdy. Seem to be some kind of like stink bomb or something that's gone off over here. The martyrs of blood speak to us, not to you. Well, I guess we've got the weapon. Let's go ahead and take a couple stabs at him. There's 6 damage. There's another 6, and that's going to be the end of our AP. Yikes, we've really got to get rid of somebody here. Let's get rid of this guy. Down he goes, so we've managed to bludgeon him, caveman style. We just went straight Geico on his ass. Although I suppose at this point that might be confused with like I fought him like Gecko-style Kung Fu, because they've kind of swapped over from the Geico caveman over to like the Geico lizard, where nobody can tell if he's like Cockney British or if he's like half Australian. I think they actually made a joke about that in the commercial, like nobody can tell where he's from because his accent kind of switches in between episodes. So we managed to beat 2 people to death now. Hopefully the cops aren't nearby. This is going to raise some serious questions, although they just vanished, which makes our lives a little bit easier. I bet there's a lot of criminals out there that would like to have that ability. Make the bodies just disappear into thin air, and down he goes. Cool. Well, if this keeps up much further, what I might consider is possibly putting some points into close combat. I don't really know when our first gun's gonna come along. Looks like we've got another room here. Let's check out this cabinet. It's empty. It's a little bit of a bummer. They got some kind of like hologram glass floor or something going on right there. It appears as though we've been put into a chop shop or something. This is looking a little bit higher tech than the rest of this area. This is looking like a little bit of the squalor. I'm not positive why the floor is flickering like that. It's definitely making me feel a little bit unnerved. You hear a desperate commotion from the western room. Well, let's get in on it. Oops. Piss off, Scrags. You won't get in. Well, I can't go around that way. Let me take a look here. That door is not going to be functional, so I suppose we'll head off this way and then we'll just do our best. The downside to playing a samurai, if you guys are a little bit new to Shadowrun, is that she's going to be our mainline soldier for just about everything that goes wrong. However, we are going to have to hire out for any of the skilled technique that we need, so deckers, things of that nature, all going to be people that we're going to have to hire to handle those jobs for us. Catch them from behind, sucker punch style or sucker bat style. See if we can kill this one off. Ooh, there we go. 2 times damage with a crit. Hey, is someone out there? Ah, feth it. Let's do this. Feth is not a word that I've ever heard before in Shadowrun. Well, it appears we have a new person named 39. I don't know what she's got going on, but we'll take a look at what she's doing in just a moment. The character sheet might be open for her. It looks like she is a decker because she's got marked target. So maybe we'll mark this target really quickly and then we'll have her jump into the melee. Let's throw some bows here. There we go. Drop them bees. And then a few more swings, and she's going to be handled. You watch as the lithe girl spits on the maniac's corpse. Thanks, chummer. That door wasn't going to hold out much longer. Hell, I think I barely made it into that room as it was. No sweat. Introductions aside, I think we should find a way out of here. And fast. Agreed. Let's slot and run this place. Taking a moment to rest, you size your new companion up. She's an elf. Her head has been shaved recently and you get a clear view of her data jack. It looks well worn like a favorite leather jacket. It's covered in tiny white scripts and symbols. Unlike those on the disturbing chip you found earlier, these appear to be less malevolent in nature. The next thing you notice is her charming demeanor. However, though she acts fairly roguish for a lady elf, the fact that horrid dreck like this didn't give her a mental breakdown suggests she's seen many bad things before, or done them. As she walks past, you notice a tattoo on her neck. 39. You decide to ask her about it at a more appropriate time. I can't believe these bastards shaved my head. Alright, well, where are we headed off to? It looks like we've got a console right there, and it looks like we've got some cabinets, maybe some kind of bin or receptacle here. Let's jump into those and see what we can do. The two of you stand side by side, rifling through the contents of the shelves and lockers in hopes of finding something useful. You come across 2 items that might be of help, the last remnants of a used first aid kit and a battered aging pistol. You instinctively reach for the tarnished weapon, but the elf is faster than you, quickly placing a firm hand on it and stopping you short. Hold up a minute, Quick Draw. You know anything about handguns? Well, it can't be too hard, right? Then take it, she pauses. And watch where you aim that thing. I don't feel like getting shot today. Make what use you can of the near expended first aid kit. You manage to escape together a makeshift bandage and apply the last uses of some aniprovaline. Alrighty, well, we've got a little bit of equipment then. Let's take a look at our character sheet. And what kind of skills does she have? 39. She's got some intelligence skills, some basic ranged combat skills. It looks like she's got summoning and spirit control though, so I think she's probably a maged out decker, which might be interesting. Let's take a look at some of the skills we have. What is this? A black scorpion. Alright. Our armor is just a cult follower. Oh god, that's good. Maybe we got roped in with something else. And then she's got nothing else to go with. No spells or anything else to work. I suppose we unequip the bat and give it to her just so she has something. Let's see here. Well, maybe not. Let's go ahead and back on out of here and we'll go through this door. Let's check this console really quickly and see if we can't manage to find our way out. Thank you for choosing Maurice Baxter's Good Sleep Storage Emporium. Service access is forbidden at this time. Please contact the administrator for permissions. Thank you. The elf appears over your shoulder reading the display with you. Maurice Baxter's Good Sleep Storage Emporium. Never heard of it. Whatever, it looks like this thing's been locked out by its root source somewhere else. We're gonna need more than a password or keycard to get this door open. If we had a deck, this wouldn't be a problem for you. Impressive, sounds like you've used that data jack of yours for more than just charging your comlink. Ha, I'm kidding. Seriously though, you got a good eye for tech. You slowly run your hand over your skull. A sharp breath catches in your throat as soft fingers brush over a rigid metal port. Data jack? What in the hell? This isn't mine. It is now, friend. Oh, and I have more bad news. There's also a tattoo on the back of your neck. Looks like you're lucky number 26. You know you've got one too, right? It's a number as well, 39. Her eyes go wide with genuine shock as she instinctively touches the back of her neck, in much the same fashion as you are. Someone is gonna pay for this shiz. I've got a feeling we'll find a solution if we keep looking. After you. Yeah, thanks. Well then, let me try that we gotta find a... I suppose they want us to find a... Oh, there it is. There's a door. We gotta find ourselves a cyber deck, it sounds like. So let's see if we can get well on our way to that objective. I don't think I checked this entire room yet either, back where we had gotten... Oh, never mind. Well, I kinda did. Sorta. We moved on a little bit quickly, but I'm excited about starting a new campaign here. That's always the downside to my Shadowrun addiction, is anytime there's a new campaign to run, I tend to get a little bit ahead of myself. Excitement for the future and all that fun stuff. Let's take a look and possibly see if we can swing through this door. I don't know what's going to be coming out on the other end here. Could be just about anything. These rough-cut stones do little to mask the sound of shuffling feet and murmured prayers. Got our pistol equipped here. Looks like we've got a dangerous-looking human. Quickly sizing that up. Don't suppose I've got Overwatch yet, so I'm just going to use up the remainder here if I can. Let's get 39 up and by our side. Once she's ready to roll, I kind of wish I'd let her have the pistol, to be fair, but we'll take our chances. Take my shots there. That's going to be 15 damage with a crit and a scrub. Let's run in and see if maybe she can punch him to death. There it is. 1 karma gained for knocking someone out. I don't really know why. Possibly a ghoul. That one looked a little bit more raggedy than anything else, but I didn't mouse over it long enough to figure out what it might be saying. Let's blast this guy who's running up on us because I don't like getting run up on. That's a dangerous thing to do. Take a swing there, another swing, and no knockout. Half damage for 2, unfortunately. We're gonna get punched in the jaw, but we're an orc, so we can take it. Take 2 shots, and then from there, see if maybe our fanciful decker can handle the problem, or our fanciful elf. Nope, can't get the job done, so let's put a few more rounds into the face, and this gun has a lot of pistol. This gun has a lot of pistol rounds in one chamber. I don't think we're going to have to reload it very often, but it is going to work out in our favor. Managed to survive that debacle. There's another guy right there, a Wither Watcher. Alrighty. Take a couple shots and move on. Let's draw her back, actually. Make them work for it a little bit. Oh goody, he's got some magey powers. He's gonna throw what looks like armor on one of his friends there, or both of them. He's gonna beefcake out his little defenders here. I'm actually going to take out the guys that are gonna take a sprinter on us, just to make sure they don't get too close. Let's get her in the front and get her a swinging. And down he goes. Luckily, she's pretty good with the pugilism, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Hopefully no summons here. I don't know what he just tried to do, but my guess is it probably wasn't friendly. He probably wasn't trying to bestow any buff upon us. Take a swing, knock that guy out, and then we're going to close with this caster over here and see if we can get him or her eliminated. I think it's a her, actually. Took a punch for 2 damage and then distracted. Alright. Well, let's see if we can distract him with a bullet. There's another karma. Let's head on down. So this seems to be a bit more like a classical campaign where you get karma for actually killing people and doing stuff like that. That's not how I run my campaigns personally. You gotta finish the whole run before I do any of that. We grow the trees, then watch them fade. Much like our minds and much like yours. Let's take our shots here. Maybe use a... see if we can get a marked target. There we go. Increase our accuracy just a tad. Throw a punch there, get 2 damage off with a half hit. Not so good, but it's alright. It's better than no damage being dealt. And with a 99% chance, we'll take our shots here. So there's 9 more damage. Maybe a final blow across the jaw will put him out of our head and out of our minds. Alright, looks like we got some of those plasticky things over here that they put on the outside of warehouses. The two of you cautiously approach a curtain of industrial plastic, wary of more disturbing psychopaths, or worse. She stares at the threshold, then looks over at you. There's a haunted look in her eyes, and she's fidgeting with something in her pocket. We'll find our solution to the access console through there. How could you possibly know that? Because it told me. The data chip. She breaks eye contact and turns away, completely unnerved. Speechless, you look at her like she's gone mad. It's been sending me, I don't know, impressions or something. Since I took it out of its container. I can't explain it, but I know that the chip is pushing me forward towards something that it needs, and I know that it's right. Is it talking to you now? Not talking. Impressions. Sorry, is it giving you any impressions right now? Other than insisting we go to the next room? Yeah. It's angry. Furious. It's threatening me with countless nameless horrors. It's angry. Why? I don't know, and I don't fething care. Let's just go. The sooner we dust this pit, the better. Well, it seems like it's not going to let me out of combat just yet, and my pistol appears to be reloaded. Oh, there's more combat. Let's get a double run on up in here, and I think we're going to be alright. I don't really see any scathing threats. Here comes the first attack from that individual. It's going to be protected armor to both of her comrades. Suppose I'll take a shot. They actually didn't do anything dangerous in the last combat, so I suppose I'll just shoot at the guys that are going to run out and try and punch me, because I don't feel like being punched today. There are many things that I'd like to accomplish, namely a bacon cheeseburger, maybe a little bit of the old gaming, but definitely not trying to accomplish a punch to the side of the head right now. Alright, so she's now distracted and got punched in the back of the head. A little bit of donkey punch action there. Put a little covery fire over here, maybe put him down. Very nice. Swing back in over here, and fisticuffs with this guy. So there's 2 damage. Not much, but it's something. She's a little bit the worse for wear now. Now we're distracted. That's fun. But we should be okay. So there's 15 damage, and then good night. 1 more karma. So we've got to go and find what we're looking for. I think we needed the cyber deck, or there's some trees or something over here. Let's first look at our character sheets, because I think we're about in the position we want to be to do some upgrading. It might be nice to put some points into quickness, just make sure that we're able to shoot anybody in the future. Might also be worthwhile to throw something into ranged combat. Pistol might be nice, but I'm not going to lean on it right now because I don't think that's where we're headed. Critical damage percentage becomes visible. That might be useful. Let me look at some of my karmic skills down here. Or my charismatic skills. There we go. We can get an etiquette right now, which I think will be probably pretty useful in the future. We'll take that. And I'm going to go with... let's go with street etiquette. That's not going to hurt us at all. Always a solid choice. That means we're going to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk with anybody that knows what they're doing out in the middle of nowhere. or at least in the slums, and then I'll put the other one into ranged combat. That's going to get us rounded out quite nicely, make it a little bit easier for us to get anything done. Does she have any karma to play with? Oh, it's not going to let us, so maybe she's just a temporary friend. Maybe we'll use her as a contact or something later. 2 things to be looted here. The workbench in front of you is completely smothered in pieces of wire, bits of scrap, and other random parts, all of them broken or damaged. A fine layer of dust blankets the entirety of it all. Sweeping much of it off the top with your arm, you find an old beat-up cyberdeck, the ticket out for you and your comrade. A spark of hope begins to emerge, and you turn to tell her just that. Hey, it looks like you find the elf slumped down against the corner breathing heavily, her foreboding data chip in her hand. The deep red runes are skittering about it like white noise on your monitor, and a wave of nausea threatens to overtake you. What's wrong? Is it communicating again? Put it away before something worse happens. She's clutching her head, trying to block out the unwanted wash of emotion. It won't stop. It wants me to do something, but I don't know what. It hates me, and you, and everything. Without warning, waves of crippling nausea crash into you and your knees hit the floor. The data chip you found in the container begins resonating in your mind. Its ill intent becomes apparent. Just as you're about to fade out of consciousness, the sudden wash of wrongness leaves. Gone as suddenly as it came, the woman slowly rises to her feet and seems well enough to continue. She pockets the chip again. You hand her the cyberdeck, not sure what to say, and turn to head back to the only door that matters. Strange. That's definitely going to be something to contend with. If we're going to black out at any moment, that's a tad terrifying. Let's loot this other workbench. Basic clothing for a Shadowrunner. What would you like to do with it? Let's go ahead and swap it with our current armor. So we're going to be equipped out a little bit better. Looking a tad more stylish too, matching up with our teammate. Never too bad to make it look like everybody's on the same team. Maybe avoid some of that crazy random attrition or random fire that could hit some of your friends. Light has managed to find its way through a crack in the ceiling. The dying trees have struggled out a leaf or two. Even those on the verge of death can be grateful for the small things. Pick a leaf and examine it closer. Holding the precious leaf in your hand, you can see that this flora would be valued for its medicinal properties as a disinfectant. Combined with the rest of the leaves, you could apply it to your wounds. Yeah, let's harvest up the last, and there we go, +1 and +8. Hope this works. Well, that works out pretty well. We don't know anything about biotech or any other applicable biotechnology skills, medical technology, anything like that. But worst comes to worst, we'll use a little bit of that shamanic skill, get ourselves healed up, or maybe it's just dumb luck, just rubbing random substances on ourselves. Like, hey man, I've been seeing purple penguins for this entire trip. I don't think we should have rubbed that on our faces. It's like those guys back in the day. I heard that somebody tried to like snort or smoke some random cactus out in the middle of the desert. The elf quickly connects into the surface access terminal. You wait patiently as she does her work, silently urging her on. Suddenly, a door opens behind you. Caught off guard, you spin around and see Maurice Baxter and a swarm of his deranged followers. Baxter himself is as eccentric a cult leader as you'll see. He stares directly at the two of you, but his glazed eyes never seem to focus on anything. Anger contorts his features and he launches into a zealous sermon. Behold, the heretic vessels draw near, and our sacred martyrs of blood ride with them. As was written in the holy manifest above, so it is here now, below. Brothers and sisters of the good sleep, have faith. Though the vessels now attempt to sin and remove the martyrs of blood, they shall not succeed, for we will kill them where they stand, that we may prove our worth to the martyrs. Their pathetic exodus ends here, O ye faithful. Strike them down. To arms. Whipped into a frenzy, the faithful of good sleep swarm at you. It's done. The door's open. There's an elevator at the end of the hall. Cutting it close, nah? Let's make a run for the access elevator. Run. I bet I could take them, but they gotta come around this way, so we might as well bolt on out. 1 AP used. We'll see what's in this room. Hopefully they don't head us off at the pass. That would get real nasty. I'm gonna move carefully back behind cover if I can help it. Oh, they're a little bit closer than we expected, but I think with double AP usage, we should be able to outrun them reasonably well. There's our way out right there, so let's get the hell on out of here. I don't even know if we're going to get ourselves any AP or any karma, but I'm not going to risk it. Let's just try and run on out of here since that's what it told us to do. There's quite a few of them. I don't think a pistol's going to put that many down. Let's zone on out. Finally, the way up is within reach. Your fellow escapee rushes to the keyboard, desperately mashing the key command to open the door. Your heart sinks as panic spreads across her face. It's no good. The Fethin elevator is another 300 meters up. These bastards will be on us in Suddenly, she locks up mid-sentence. Her eyes go wide as if in shock. Blood begins to flow out of her nose, tracing a line down her chin. She looks over to you intensely. I know what it wants now. I'm gonna slot the chip. What? She's an elf and she's fast. Before you can attempt to stop her, she slips the chip into the port slot on the side of her data jack. Yeah, I understand now. I know what we have to do. Just listen closely to me because we're out of time. This room is full of ley lines. I can see them clearly. Cover me while I get to one. Full of them? Great. Which one? Before she can answer, the flock of lunatics are upon you. Okay, it looks like I'm about tapped out on range here. But I suppose I'll turn and we'll get ready to fight. I guess I'll set her up on this ley line for now. Does she have anything else? No. Well, let's end the turn and we'll hope for the best here. There's a punch to the side of the dome. God, there's so many. I'm not even positive what I should do right now. It's not even letting me target anybody, strangely enough. Well, let's grab her. See if she can get to the big ley line. There it is. What you witness next is beyond imagining. Impossible. The elf stands in the center of the heavy ley line and begins to work her cybernetic furiously. The air becomes so frigid you can see your breath misting and you smell old blood. Reality begins to twist and break over the ley line until something finally emerges from the Matrix. A data demon. You have no words. Heresy, strike it down. Now we can fight. Take a couple swings at this guy. We've got ourselves some shooting to be done here. Take shots at the guy that's closest with us because he's kind of terrifying and he's got a giant machete. Ooh, there's 6 damage. I don't know if I should hold my ground or make a run for it. Let me put a couple rounds into this guy because he's the only one with a weapon. So we got 2 karma for taking him out. What can I do with the demon? Is there anything? It's not even showing up on my queue of characters up here at the top right, but I guess I'll take it. Getting a fist fight down here. Maybe the demon will do something for us. Oh, they're going to disengage and come after her. Maybe attack. Well, he's got killer shoulder pads. He'll be fine. If there's one thing that video games have taught me, it's the larger your shoulder pads is. Well, the larger your shoulder pads are, that is, the better you'll do in combat. Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's shoot this guy then. Or this female. Now that she's down, we'll take a look over here, and the cyber demon appears to be doing a fairly good job at taking care of business. Also appears to be quite ethereal and unable to be struck. And down they go again. Let's fire a few more rounds, maybe help the demon out a bit, just so we stay on its good side after this whole thing's over, because you never know what kind of mood it's going to be in. Down they go with some elfish kung fu, that elfish bujitsu. And down goes that individual. What's left of Maurice Baxter is spread across the floor. What he meant about vessels and martyrs of blood is unknown, possibly the ravings of the insane. Although glancing at the digital creature standing in real space, you wish Maurice Baxter was alive to answer some questions. The elf approaches you weary, but quickly recovering. That was amazing. She almost tackles you with a giant bear hug. Right? Ha! Those bastards never saw it coming, eh? But what does it all mean? That ESP should not have been able to enter or even exist here. Come again? They're all simple AI programs in the Matrix designed to protect Deckers during combat. This defies all known laws of physics. It's completely wrong. And one more thing, the data chip is quiet now. Quiet. Back there, the chip's desire to have me slotted into my data jack was totally overwhelming. When I did, I immediately knew that the correct ley line would bring forth something powerful to aid us. I just didn't know what. Its negative presence is still there in my head, but it's muted now, like it's distant or contained. She absently places a hand to the data jack, then moves it to the back of her neck. The tattoo on my neck, you said the number on it was 39? Yeah. And yours was 26. Look, we remember next to nothing, so she smiles brightly. It's the most glorious thing you've seen since you came in that small white room. Just call me 39. It's a deal then. You can call me 26. We should go 26. Agreed, 39. Name repetition. See, I do the same thing. Oh, and I'm keeping that gun. Alrighty, let's get the hell out of here. Act 1, Chapter 1 complete. Proceed to the next chapter. Sure. That puts us right about where we should be for the full length of an episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for the first part of Act 1 of From the Shadows Run. Be sure to check out Daly's Twitch TV channel down below. This is available through Steam in the workshop, so you can get it there. And I'll see you guys next time.